Hey, this is Jim Sharpe along with David Fischer, the CEO, the founder of Landmark Capital. David, we saw some changes. The stock market opened up really high, and it's because we saw some really good jobs numbers. 13.3% unemployment rate. Woohoo! Yeah,
Yeah.
who knew that it would be that low, which was super high not that long ago. Is there any other reason why the market's up?
Well, some of it has to do with the PPP. They hired people, and to have forgiveness on this loan, according to the guidelines of PPP, Jim, they have to have the employees on payroll through August. So, let's see what this really looks like in September.
Yeah.
But the market is interpreting this report on jobs, adding, a few million jobs. Happy days are here again. And we saw American Airlines jump 28.6%. United surged also 21%. The cruise lines went up also 17%. Carnival, Royal Caribbean, 13%. But corporate buybacks is really the reason. I mean, companies have been buying back stock aggressively. Citi rekindled a mystery of a conundrum that plagued, the market a couple of years ago. But they're doing it again, and that's buybacks. $120 billion, Jim, of money outflowed the market rally in March. So while the market was going up, outflow of money was coming out. But the last 3 months, the tech industry has been on a rampage of buybacks to the tune of $65 billion, while the rest of the second largest buyback was only $5 billion, which still is a lot of money, and that was the industrial sector. So this explains why there's a surge in, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, all up for 20% more year to date, while the remaining 495 stocks of the S&P 500 are still down collectively about 8%.
What are analysts saying about the current environment?
So there's this disconnect that's going on. A lot of analysts, Goldman Sachs is saying that they're only forecasting about a 1% increase in S&P 500 in those 5 stocks. Citi's warning that the markets are way ahead of reality, and they're urging clients actually to sell. They said in a report, you need to raise as much cash as you can right now before the next crash. So they're saying a crash is coming, and this is a lot of happy days are here again is based upon the Fed saying we're going to buy stocks no matter what. In JP Morgan, Marco Clavenek admits that the environment should dial down, and he's seeing little upside in stocks. But the biggest people who are talking about this is hedge fund managers. They're expecting the U.S. stock market to begin another decline, and they're positioning themselves financially for that. The attitudes have changed in the last 10 days, and they're feeling that the Federal Reserve just cannot continue this dominant presence in the market. And a couple of billionaires, David Tepper, Stanley Druckenmiller, they're all naysayers, skeptics. Mohammed El-Iran, the largest bond trader, one of the largest bond traders, he came out and slammed the idea that the Fed's going to continue to buy this. And if they do, he said, this is just going to create a fake market.
Yeah.
Expect some downturns, and, that's what we're seeing.
Yeah. So we're not just going backwards up the slope or upwards up the slope. Yeah, that's just not, it's not good. And what's happening with gold right now, David?
Well, gold pulled back 1688. I want to bring in a little bit what's been happening with this rioting a little bit, because in 2018, the largest hedge fund manager, Ray Dalio, described this. He said there's going to be rising debt, income inequality, political polarization, and also possible rioting. He said this is all going to be a nasty recipe for a major downturn. And he said it's going to come, 2 years ago, he said it's going to come in the next couple of years. It's going to surprise investors, companies, politicians, and policymakers are all going to be blindsided. And Ray is saying it's going to be close to a decade before there's a full recovery. And ironically, just 3 days ago, the Congressional Budget Office, Jim, said the economy is not going to recover till 2030. You know, where does gold come into this? Ray, 2 years ago, told people to buy gold. Stanley Druckenmiller, David Tepper, all these billionaires are saying buy gold. And another one came to the party here, Rick Reeder, managing director of BlackRock, the biggest managing of assets in the world. He said that the monetary end game, policy end game, is going to be monetary debasement. In other words, they're going to devalue the dollar and raise rates. And he says you got to seek protection in gold.
And like you and I have been talking about over the last few weeks, this is the time to buy gold because it's always times like this when it's a good time to buy gold. So talk to David Fischer, talk to anybody. I think great people over there at Landmark Capital at 602-287-9200, 602-287-9200, or go to landmarkgold.com. That's landmarkgold.com. And hey, as always, David, thanks for the info.
Thank you for having me today, Jim.
You bet.